Hi, all. This is Jan at the Jan Files. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I am going to make a very short video because I'm really, really angry. And I think, and it's at, quote, my own people. The Democrats have no spine, have no balls, have no ovaries. I don't care what you want to say. Whatever it is that gives you the ability to stand up and do and say what is right seems to have escaped almost every single one of them that we've elected into our government. 95 members of the House today voted yes on a resolution to honor Charlie Kirk. The entire Senate unanimously passed a resolution naming Charlie Kirk's birthday, a day to be honored. What? Is this the way we lead? They don't have the balls to say, look, what happened to this man, Charlie Kirk, was awful. It was horrendous. But what he stood for is nothing we stand with. Okay? So let me say that again. What he stood for is nothing we stand with. Did they do that? No. So I'm just going to remind everybody, because I, once again, have papers, are going to read you quotes from Charlie Kirk. And I'm just going to go through them and let you hear them, and then maybe share them. Maybe share them with your representatives. I mean, with the minority leaders in the leader, I'm going to stop using the word leader. The minority person in the House that leads the Democrat. I can't get away from the words leads. Sorry, leads the Democrat. Anyway, I'm just pissing off. So here we go. So we're going to start with racism. They're going to honor this man who was an out and out racist. Okay? These are his words. DEI is institutionalized racism and it's against the law. It must be abolished. The Democratic Party is the party of the KKK, Jim Crow, and slavery, and it's time we start saying. Now, historically, Charlie Kirk was correct. We were the party of the KKK, Jim Crow, and slavery. Obviously, since the Southern strategy, some of you may not even know about this, that was concocted by Lee Atwater and Richard Nixon, changed that. Those Southern Democrats went right over to the Republicans. They traded in racism. Black Americans don't need reparations. They need discipline, strong families, and a culture that values education and hard work. On DEI and pilot qualifications, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. On affirmative action and brain processing power, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racist. They do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who is a moronic black woman, I wonder if she's there because of her excellence or she's there because of affirmative action. Now to sexism. Reject feminism. Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge. This was about, obviously, Taylor Swift. Submit to your husband. On women's roles, quote, we should not send women into the front lines of a combat, nor should we send men into the front lines of educating our preschoolers. On young women and marriage, the biggest thing is this. More younger women need to get married at a younger age and start having kids. On female submission, young ladies need to be able to submit to a godly man. I'm just going to say that one again. Young ladies need to be able to submit to a godly man. On homophobia, being gay is an error. It's like being an alcoholic or a drug addict. It's a choice and a sin. On supposedly LGBTQ recruitment, which doesn't exist, by the way, they cannot, this is a quote, they cannot procreate, so they recruit, and now they're bragging about it. This is a quote, I'm not for gay marriage. I think it's a sin, and I think it's destructive to society. And I just, in terms of what we're talking about, the people who are saying things and causing violence, this is a quote from Charlie Kirk. On Biden, it's about his cognitive decline and punishment. Joe Biden, this is the quote, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled, Alzheimer's, corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America. Once again, no one should be murdered because they have expressed themselves in public. That is the First Amendment. We have a right to free speech. And I will always stand up for anyone who has, because in terms of they have the right to say what they want to say. And as I have the right to say what I'm saying now, okay? Nobody should ever be murdered for that. And I think what happened to him is horrible, period. But let me tell you, Democrats, if you don't find again, I'm going to use the word balls and ovaries because I like to talk to both men and women, to stand up to this kind of rhetoric, this kind of hate, and you actually don't even stand up, you actually voted to honor him. I have this question for you, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and all the other Democrats that voted for this. Tell me what I should say to my daughters. Tell me what I should say to my black daughters, because my daughters are black. Tell me what I should say to my gay friends. That you have no sense of right and wrong? That you are so afraid? That you are unwilling to take even the most basic steps that are right? Today was a horrible, I think, honestly, I didn't believe this before, but I do believe it now. I think the Democratic Party is dead. I don't know. I don't see any leaders, maybe Gavin Newsom, but not certainly in our elected people. But, there are some. But Jasmine Crockett comes to mind. Okay. Nobody in the Senate, because they all voted unanimously to support this. And certainly not my senators, Kirsten Gillibrand and Chuck Schumer. They're just a waste. But all of these other Democrats supported this. So I should just go and tell my daughters, They should submit to their husband. They're too young for husbands, but they should just submit. Right? I should tell them they don't have the brain processing power. I don't think you understand, Democrats, the damage you are doing. And as a boomer, as somebody who has reached the age with no fucks to give, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be calling you out.